वी आर नंबर 2 इन द कोविड, मतलब हमें यूएस के पीछे पीछे हम हैं आज भी। नए केसेस थोड़े कम हो गए हैं, लेकिन टोटल नंबर कंसीडरिंग द इंडियाज पॉपुलेशन ऑफ 125 करोड़ देशवासियों, सो इवन देन यूएस के पीछे हम हैं। व्हाट इज अ गुड न्यूज is that in spite of daily increasing number and the peak, you can see that the spike is also increasing, and it is said that there is a third wave which has again come across the India, जितने मेट्रो सिटीज में और रूरल इंडिया में भी पहुंच गया। फिर भी हमारे यहाँ डेथ रेट, मॉर्टेलिटी रेट 1.37, जैसे कंपेयर टू यूएस, कंपेयर टू मेनी अदर कंट्रीज, यहाँ का मृत्यु दर कम है। सेकंड गुड न्यूज इज यहाँ जो डेली रिकवर्ड रेट जो है वो डेली इन्फेक्टेड रेट से ज्यादा है, मतलब जितने लोग डेली इन्फेक्ट हो रहे हैं उससे ज्यादा लोग ठीक हो रहे हैं। ये क्यों हो रहा है? इसलिए हो रहा है कि भारतवर्ष में आयुर्वेद जैसी चिकित्सा पद्धति, आयुष चिकित्सा पद्धति, दोज आर इम्बाइब्ड इन आवर कल्चर। हम हमारी धरोहर से, हमारी परंपरा से, खान पान से, जीवन शैली से, रिचुअल में जो खान पान किया जाता है, जैसे कि ठंड का मौसम आ गया तो हम तिल पट्टी, गुड़दानी ऐसा खाना शुरू करते हैं, तो ये हमारी धरोहर में ही दिनचर्या, ऋतुचर्या, डेली रेजिमेन, सीजनल रेजिमेन इज इम्बाइब्ड इन आवर कल्चर। तो और हमने टाइमली मेजर से, जैसे पैंडेमिक डिक्लेयर हुआ तो आयुष मिनिस्ट्री ने पहले ही कोरोना के लिए प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स शुरू किए। सो व्हाट इज द अप्रोच ऑफ आयुर्वेद इज प्रिवेंशन इज बेटर देन क्योर, ट्राई टू प्रिवेंट इट, ट्राई व्हेन देयर इज नो सॉल्यूशन। आयुर्वेद में इसको जनपदोद्वंश व्याधि कहते हैं। सो फर्स्ट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डज आयुर्वेद से। तो आयुर्वेद में एक औपसर्गिक व्याधि जो कम्युनिकेबल डिसीजेस एंड पैंडेमिक ओरिजिन के, उनको जनपद, सभी जनपद को एक बार एक साथ विध्वंस करने वाले व्याधि में इसका नाम वर्गीकरण किया। और उसकी एक जो प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट ये थी कि इसको उन्होंने एक ये कहा गया कि जब कुछ भी इलाज नहीं है और सभी जनपद एक साथ इन्फेक्ट होने का खतरा है, जनपद को विध्वंस हो गया है, बाह्य वातावरण से के जो फैक्टर्स है, विसिएटेड एयर, विसिएटेड वाटर, देश एंड काल, टाइम, सीजन एंड देश, दैट इज अ लोकेशन, अगर पूरा विसिएट हो गया तो व्यक्ति क्या करेगा? व्यक्ति ये कर सकता है, ह्यूमन बीइंग ये कर सकता है, अपने आप को बचाए रखे इस खतरे में। हाउ यू कैन save yourself, your life only by improving your immune status। हमारी व्याधि क्षमता को इतना मजबूत रखिए कि आप बाहर के जितने एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर्स है वो आपको अफेक्ट ना कर पाए, या आप अपनी बॉडी साइकिल, बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक को ऐसे एडजस्ट करें कि जो सीजनल चेंज है उसमें हार्मनी आ जाए। तो आपको गर्म सर्द ये जो तफावत होती है तो सीजन के अनुसार आप खान पान और जीवन शैली में बदलाव करें, ये आयुर्वेद कहता है और ये हमारे धरोहर में ऑलरेडी इम्बाइब्ड है। इसीलिए आयुर्वेद क्या कहता है, तो मैं यही कहूंगी, आपकी दादी माँ, नानी माँ जो यूज कर रहे थे उसी को ही आप पुनः यूज करने, आपके ट्रेडिशन को ही आप पुनः यूज करना शुरू करिए। यू विल फॉलो द आयुर्वेद। ये जो पैंडेमिक सिचुएशंस भारतवर्ष में आज नहीं आई है, हर 100 साल में एक बार आती है। पहले कॉलरा था, प्लेग था, स्पेनिश फ्लू था, देयर आर मेनी कंडीशंस इन द हिस्ट्री एंड इट इज द हिस्टोरिकल एविडेंस टेल अस, wisdom tell us that during the pandemic situations in the history, Ayurvedic Vaidyas have only helped the entire community to come out with this pandemic situation, with this only the knowledge system, how to balance the harmony, how to create a harmony between the ecosystem within ourselves and with the external environment. Creating harmony is the key issue। और इसीलिए आज भी हमारे भारतवर्ष में नंबर ऑफ केसेस बढ़ते हुए भी मृत्यु का दर, या आप देखिए कि रिलेटिवली 99% क्योर रेट है, रिकवरी रेट है, क्योंकि हर किसी ने अपने आप को आयुर्वेद के इम्यूनोमॉड्यूलेटर से, खान पान से, कुछ ना कुछ प्रतिबंधात्मक उपचार से बचा लिया. So this is the strength of Ayurveda is in prevention. The second strength is it is a part of our culture, part of our traditional wisdom. अब कोई भी डिसीज होता है तो हम ये देखते हैं हेतु, लिंग और औषध. तो हमने कोरोना का एग्जांपल लेते हुए पहले इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड देखा कि मान लो कोई समाज में घूम रहा है, किसी को एक्सपोजर हुआ, तो वो तुरंत उसको, आज मैं किसी के संपर्क में आई तो कल मैं पॉजिटिव हो जाऊंगी, ऐसा नहीं है. मैं कब पिछले बार यही हिस्ट्री होती है कि हम कॉन्टैक्ट ट्रेसिंग करते हैं ना, जैसे कि किसी को आज पॉजिटिव हो गया, किसी को गले में खराश हुई, तो हम ये देखते हैं कि पिछले हफ्ते में आप कहाँ गए थे, कौन पॉजिटिव था, किसके संपर्क आए. तो ये इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड होता है. आयुर्वेद में भी उसको संप्राप्ति, मतलब एक बार हेतु, पॉजिटिव फैक्टर्स शरीर में घुसने के बाद वो जो शरीर में ऐसी जगह ढूंढता है, वीक सिस्टम, कि वहां वो वायरस जाके पनपने लगता है. इट स्टार्ट्स रिप्लिकेटिंग, और वो एक साइटोकाइन स्टॉर्म हो गया, इन्फ्लेमेशन हो गया, उसके बाद द सिम्टम्स आर मैनिफेस्टेड एंड द systems are invaded, like respiratory system, then cardiac system like myositis, inflammatory responses, immune responses and over reacting. तो ये बाद में होता है, जैसे कि ये हमारी इम्यूनिटी ट्रिगर होती है इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड में. वायरस, ऐसे कहा गया कि वायरस अंदर गया तो 4 दिन गले में बैठता है. सो व्हाट वी डू, आयुर्वेद ये कहता है पूर्व रूपम जयेत व्याधि, मतलब आप अगर कहीं कॉन्टैक्ट हिस्ट्री हो गई, आपको पता चले, तो आप ऐसे फिजिकल मेजर्स अपनाइए कि वो सिम्टम तक जाएगा ही नहीं, ये स्टेज में पहुंचेगा ही नहीं. इसीलिए हम प्रतिबंधात्मक उपचार करे हैं कि जिसमें आप गार्गलिंग करिए. कि मैं रोज यहाँ आती हूँ, पिछले 10 महीने रोज आ रही हूँ इंस्टीट्यूशन में. सो एवरी डे आई गो टू होम एंड आई स्टार्ट डूइंग द गार्गलिंग विथ गर्म पानी, टर्मेरिक और सलाइन वाटर से मैं गरारे करना करती हूँ. व्हाई? बिकॉज वायरस व्हेन इंटर्स इनटू द बॉडी, इट stays here for 4 days, laryngeal and pharyngeal region में, and then it starts binds with the living state cell and starts replicating. अगर मैंने सलाइन वाटर, हॉट वाटर में उसकी एक्टिविटी वीक होती है, टर्मेरिक इज अ एंटीवायरल, तो वही के वही हम उस चेन को ही ब्रेक करते हैं, अटकाव करते हैं. सो इन द इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट देयर एंड देयर वी हैव टू कंट्रोल. तो आगे सिम्टम में वो जाएगा ही नहीं. तो ये हर किसी को, आज जब कम्युनिटी स्प्रेड हुआ, संसर्गिक व्याधि हो गया, तो हम ये कहते कि आप रोज ये ही समझ के चलिए, हर कोई व्यक्ति मेरे सामने जो आता है वो कोविड पॉजिटिव है. ऐसा समझ के अगर वो प्रतिबंधात्मक उपचार एक दिन करने से नहीं होता है, रोज रोज बारी बारी करना है. तो मेरी लाइफस्टाइल ही ऐसे बननी है कि मैं बाहर का नहीं खाऊंगी, ये मास्क है, मास्क पहनूंगी, नीचे नहीं उतारूंगी, 2 गज की दूरी, हैंड सैनिटाइजेशन, कुछ भी खान पीने से पहले मैं हाथ धो के ही ओरल, नेजल एंड आई, इससे अंदर कुछ ना जाए ये देखूंगी. वायरस को हाथ पैर नहीं है, बट इट स्टेज ऑन द सरफेस, एंड सरफेस को जब हम टच करते हैं तो वो जाता है. इसीलिए सैनिटाइजेशन, मास्किंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड में ही और आगे भी और पीछे भी रोज हम नेजल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन करते हैं, मतलब अणु तेल या कोई भी ऑयल, वॉट एवर इट इज एनी लिपिड मीडिया, इट मे बी कोकोनट, इट मे बी सिसमे, इट मे बी ग्राउंडनट, इट मे बी मस्टर्ड, सरसों का तेल और घी, या मेडिकेटेड ऑयल जैसे अणु तेल, पंचेंद्रिय तेल, षडबिंदु तेल, इसको यहाँ नाक में लगाते हैं, डालते हैं. व्हाट हैपेंस, इट क्रिएट्स अ फिल्म, ब्रिज बनाते हैं, एंड द लिपिड लेयर से वायरस लिविंग सेल को, एपिथेलियम से, नेजल एपिथेलियम एंड लिविंग सेल के कांटेक्ट में आता ही नहीं। आपको ये बताए कि उसके जो प्रोटीन स्पाइक है, उसकी जो रिसेप्टर है नेजल एपिथेलियम में सबसे ज्यादा होते हैं। बट व्हेन वी जस्ट क्रिएट अ ब्रिज एंड फिल्म that acts as a double masking and biomasking. So this really needs very important, so that even if you have the history of the contact, you even virus will not enter. But if it is has entered, you have to really do all those measures to break the chain of the replication. So केवल gargling नहीं, we do all lifestyle measures, physical measures like steam inhalation. स्टीम इनहेलेशन से भी ये चेन ब्रेक होती है। काढ़ा जैसे पीने से, च्यवनप्राश लेने से भी वो रिप्लिकेशन नहीं होता और टारगेट ऑर्गन को सेफ होता है। वो इम्यून सिस्टम ऐसी मॉड्यूलेट होती है कि जो एक हाइपर स्टिमुलेशन जो हो रहा है, जिसको साइटोकाइन स्टॉर्म कहते हैं, कोरोना में जो हो रहा है, आयुर्वेद इम्यून सिस्टम को स्ट्रेंथन करके वो मॉड्यूलेट होती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इसका मतलब ये हुआ, हम बूस्टिंग द इम्यूनिटी ये नहीं कह रहे। व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट कि घर में अगर चूहा घुस गया तो हम ये ना समझे कि अतिरेकी घुस गया और हमने गन से वार करना शुरू किया, तो होगा क्या, वो सिस्टम को ही, घर को ही नुकसान पहुंचाएगा, चूहा तो भाग ही जाएगा। सो द सेम इज हैपनिंग विद द कोरोना, नोवेल कोरोना वायरस, बिकॉज इट इज नोवेल. The information is not there in the memory of the cell, of the immune cells, and that's why immune system triggers in such a way that it is a overstimulation. It is a cytokine storm, and that storm only creates a more damage than the virus to the system. So that's why we have to really do the regulation of the immune system, and that's what are immunomodulators. Those I don't say immunoboosters, we say immunomodulators, like
Excuse me,
avla
ma'am.
and kada. So that we have to take, and this is the novelty of understanding the disease, and accordingly you start doing management.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Now this is all incubation phase is a prophylaxis phase, and we say that
Ma'am, are you able to hear us?
yes, hello.
Ma'am,
Your slide is not moving, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just
you're still in the first slide, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So yes, and then it is the symptom. It is the symptom which is cough, cold, fever. So their symptom management is to be done, and the signs accordingly we have to create the management. Okay, sorry. Okay. So the no system has evidence-based treatment. Yes, जैसे कोरोना में, that already I have mentioned, and the traditional wisdom like Janapadodvams, we have to really we have used this the classical wisdom in Ayurveda to treat the coronavirus. And I have already mentioned that why the death rate in India is comparatively low, and why the cure rate is comparatively more in India, because this indigenous system of India, which is a preventive and complete therapeutic, is deeply rooted in our community, and it is in our health policies also, public health. And that's why there is a potential to meet health and wellness for all. And when I say that it is a prevention in incubation period, in exposure period, pre-incubation period of the corona, how do we do? With the diet, with sleep, celibacy, and immunomodulators. And that's how it's very important to catch before it is infected. And during infection, it should not be this symptom. It should not go into symptom phase. And there we really have, it's very important to have a good fresh diet, timely diet. केवल fresh diet नहीं, समय पे खाना, दो खाने के बीच में कम से कम 3 घंटे की दूरी, सुबह का खाना नाश्ता 9 से 10 बजे, लंच 12 से 1 बजे, शाम का खाना 8 से 9 के पहले, सूर्यास्त के 2 घंटे के बाद, नींद है 6 से 8 घंटे, 6 to 8 hours, sound sleep at night. Very important is 11 p.m. and 5 p.m. sleep. That is very important, and that should be deep sleep, क्योंकि all the anabolic processes, serotonergic rebuilding of the system is done during those deep sleep hours. And if we break that chain, I think all catabolic inflammatory process start. during the night. So the sleep, and even in this pandemic situation, sound sleep between 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. is very, very important. Minimum 6 to 8 hours. And follow the celibacy. Uncontrolled sex is totally avoided. So these are the some of the tips. Along with the immunomodulators, it's very important for prevention and prophylaxis and post-COVID management. And now coming to management, we understand which dosha is involved, and accordingly we select the medicine. According to symptom, we select the medicine which will balance the harmony between the mind, body and soul, and the doshic system balance that we try to establish. This is the strength of Ayurveda. And as I mentioned, yes
मैम स्लाइड्स मूव नहीं हो रही
अभी भी नहीं हो रही?
No ma'am.
You cannot see the slide?
No, ma'am.
Only
No,
first
ma'am.
slide, ma'am.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll once again share. Sorry. Hmm? Yes, actually, it is said that message comes that host has disabled screen sharing. I have not received screen sharing option. Can you see it? Hello?
Yes, we can see that.
Yes.
And now is it moving?
No. It's not moving, ma'am. It's the first slide only. We can see your presentation, but slides are not moving.
You can see now?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Because you have not given me the option of sharing.
Ma'am,
But the screen is being shared. Ma'am,
Huh?
screen is being shared.
can you click on the enable editing option and then try presenting, ma'am?
Okay,
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
just see it. I'll see it.
Yes, ma'am. Now it's fine.
Okay. So I was just मैं बोलते जा रही थी. I thought that you can see. So this was my first slide. Second slide. Did you see this slide?
Earlier,
I mentioned that we are number 2, but our recovery rate is more than the infection rate, and mortality rate is.
Ma'am, slide is not changing.
Can you see the slide?
I think enable editing option is still not clicked.
Please enable the editing
On the top
option.
bar.
Enable editing option.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The protected view, there's a yellow strip about the presentation, ma'am.
Yeah, this mouse. Just see on that screen if it is fixed. I will just use the other system. Can you see the option? Is it moving now?
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
We
No,
can see
ma'am.
the first slide only. I think you need to click on enable edit. That I think.
Ma'am,
Enable.
please click on enable editing.
Yes, but that option itself is not. I cannot visible. Enable editing option is not coming on my system.
Ma'am, it's coming just above the presentation in the blue strip. Oh, sorry, yellow strip.
Huh?
Ma'am, above the presentation, a yellow strip is there where it is given enable editing.
मैम आपके प्रेजेंटेशन में जो स्लाइड है ना, स्लाइड के ऊपर ही enable editing लिखा है मैम, उस पे आप क्लिक करिए।
Or maybe she can just click on each slide that was visible to us, ma'am. So she can just click on each slide and we can continue, ma'am.
Yeah, that's also true.
वो उधर कनेक्टेड है ना,
Is it that are there वहाँ पे? So yes, enable editing option. Now it has come.
Ma'am, it's
Yes. अभी ऑप्शन enable editing आया.
जी।
Next slide, no? Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because this option was not there earlier.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. So this was my first slide. It is a second slide now because I have already explained the number of cases, number of recover more than number of daily infected cases, only because this Ayurveda is imbibed in our culture. And this is considered as a Janapadodvansa Vyadhi, COVID-19. And there is already elaborate description of cause and management of epidemic diseases imbibed in our culture also and in Ayurveda. And the same we have applied in this pandemic, that is only to clear the environmental factor like vitiated air through Dupana, Havana and Desha. And also internal environment clearing by using all the bio-cleansing mechanism as well as good diet, lifestyle, and to improve our immune system, because that is the management principle according to Ayurveda. And the TCM, Chinese medicine, officially included in their protocol, but we are fortunate. After, not immediately, but after some months, even Health Ministry has included Ayurveda and Yoga in national protocol. The management of mild and moderate and also post-COVID management protocol. And why? Because it is the indigenous system of India, deeply rooted in our community and public health, and it has potential to meet health and wellness for all. And that's what we say, that it is the principle itself is a swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. That means to protect the health of the healthy, and aturasya vikara prashamanam, that is to cure the disease. But it says that prashamanam, that is complete cure. इरेडिकेशन, जड़ों से उखाड़ना, टू कंप्लीट पैथोलॉजी को ठीक करना एंड हार्मनी क्रिएट करना is the main objective of the this system, and hence it is a prevention, promotion and a treatment. And in that prevention promotion is the strength of Ayurveda, which we achieve through diet, lifestyle and sleep. Proper diet, timely diet, जो समय पे खाना, मात्रा से खाना, थोड़ी सी भूख बचा कर ही खाना, एंड इट शुड बी होलसम मीन्स ऑल 6 टेस्ट 4 फॉर्म, सभी 6 टेस्ट का होना चाहिए. केवल ही मैं आइसक्रीम ही खाऊं, केवल लस्सी ही रात को पीऊं या भेल पकौड़ी चिड़वा खाऊं, तो वो केवल एक टेस्ट का होगा. लेकिन कंप्लीट जब होती है ना हमारी दाल सब्जी रोटी छाछ सलाद रोटी पे घी, तो दिस इज अ होलसम फूड विच इंक्लूड्स ऑल 6 रसों, 4 फॉर्म, लिक्विड सॉलिड सेमी सॉलिड सभी होना चाहिए. और एक खाना और दूसरे खाने के बीच में 3 घंटे का गैप होना चाहिए. देयर शुड बी मिनिमम 3 hours गैप. वन शुड नॉट बी हंग्री beyond 6 hours. So maybe morning 9 to 10 you have your breakfast before 9. And when solar energy, sun is optimum in the environment, our digestive energy also is optimum, because biological clock and the body clock has a harmony. In human being has a natural tendency to adjust the biological clock with the nature's clock, universal clock. So when our digestive fire is optimum, when the universal fire, solar energy is optimum, you have to have your maximum meal time in between the solar energy. Like जब सूर्यास्त से पहले खाना, जो जैनिज्म का सिद्धांत था, that's really very good. So that now also last year जो Nobel Prize winning was only for the intermittent fasting. That means between 8 to 8, like between, that means 8 hours in between daytime. If you have your breakfast, lunch and dinner, and rest of the time you give the rest to your digestive system, I think your body starts repairing all wear and tear mechanism. And during the sleep time, this wear tear mechanism that is clicked, and if you interfere with the sleep pattern also, maximum between 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning, I think your constructive period, the synthesis period is breakdown. So Ayurveda also says that ahara, nidra or brahmacharya are the three traya upastambha. These are the 3 key principles of the maintenance of the health. And in corona we again have touched our root and our tradition. दादी माँ नानी माँ के नुस्खे, उन्होंने हमें सिखाया था जल्दी उठो बेटे, जल्दी खाना खाओ, जल्दी सो जाओ. I think this is what nothing is to follow Ayurveda. And why we do it, not the strength of Ayurveda is not from illness to wellness, but it leads us to happiness. Ayurveda says that hita hitam sukham dukkham manam cha taccha yatroktam. That means the science in which measures of healthy life and happy life are mentioned is nothing but the science and knowledge system of life. That's Ayurveda. And it is not only folklore claims or traditional medicine, dadima nanima ke nuski, but there the Ayurvedic scientific principles are applied, and that has been converted into monument. जैसे इट इज अ मॉन्यूमेंटल कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन, जो जो एविडेंस थे उस समय के साइंटिफिक, दोज हैड बीन एनकोडेड into Charak Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, and all the traditional, the ancient text of Ayurveda, where this knowledge system has been codified language. जो श्लोक है sutras, that is a codified knowledge system, which is one principle, one sutra is a one evidence, applying the scientific Ayurvedic parameters to the observational folklore claims. And that's why it's so important to know the Sanskrit and the hidden meaning of the Sanskrit aphorism. That only opens the Pandora's box for the many novel researches. and the innovations and which we did in this pandemic. And there is a complete treatment, and that's the monumental gift from India to the entire world, humanity. And what is the uniqueness? Because we say that it's a tailor-made medicine, it is individualized medicine. So only one herb cannot be used by all, but there are few herbs, exceptions like Avla, Giloy, Mulethi, and some Munakka, which can be used by all, not Mulethi, Munakka, ghee, moong, and doodh, which can be used by anyone, anytime, any sex, any religion, एंड ऑल द सीजन, इसीलिए उनको स्वस्थ हित कहा है. स्वस्थ के लिए, सभी के लिए वो सस्टेनेंस ऑफ द हेल्थ वो अच्छे हैं. लेकिन बाकी जितने भी डाइट हो, लाइफस्टाइल हो, और मेडिसिन हो या हर्ब्स हो, इम्यूनोमॉड्यूलेटर, दोज आर कस्टमाइज्ड अकॉर्डिंग टू डिफरेंट टेम्परामेंट्स लाइक वाता, पित्त एंड कफ, जिसमें कफ और वात ये ठंडे मिजाज के होते हैं, तासीर के, एंड पित्त इज अ हॉट टेम्परामेंट. तो हम यही कहते कि देखो इन कोरोना काल में काढ़े से कई लोगों को एसिडिटी हुई एंड मुंह में छाले आए, खून गिरा. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे आर पित्त प्रीडोमिनेंट एंड काढ़ा इज ऑल्सो हॉट, बट देर आर सम हर्ब्स विच आर कोल्ड एंड कफ प्रीडोमिनेंट, सो उनको ठीक लगा. तो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द तासीर ऑफ द ड्रग and the temperament of a person, and we have to adjust the dose selection and administration according to and the customize according to person. That's the uniqueness of this system, and that's why अगर आप वैद्य की सलाह के अनुसार अपने आप को टेलर मेड चयन करोगे, which is the best lifestyle, which is the best diet to, and which is the best immunomodulator suiting to me, I think that is the key of maintaining the health. And in this corona time, what we did, what we developed the preventive kit, as we understood the प्रकृति of the virus, और वायरस और शरीर की भी प्रकृति. तो वायरस की एंट्री प्रिवेंट करने के लिए we did some measure. Then stopping the replication, आयुर्वेद का सिद्धांत है निदान परिवर्जन. That means वायरस के जो जो निदान है उसको वर्जन करिए. प्रकृति विघात, जो वायरस की प्रकृति है उसका रिप्लिकेशन आप स्टॉप करिए. एंड रसायन, दैट मीन्स स्टॉप द डैमेज, रिड्यूसिंग द डैमेज दैट ऑकर्स टू द टिश्यू. जो जितने भी रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम है उसका डैमेज हमने मिनिमाइज किया गिलोय, आंवला, अश्वगंधा, मुलेठी से. सो विथ दीज थ्री प्रिंसिपल्स वी कुड रियली डू द वंडर्स एंड वी कुड रियली हेल्प द कम्युनिटी इन द पब्लिक हेल्थ with prophylaxis, with the management, and also post-treatment protocol. We could do many things, and these are some of the general protocols based on these principles. Not boosters but immunomodulators, with haldi wala doodh, haldi wala gargle, all spices which has antiviral activity, immunomodulator, antioxidant activity. देन जिसमें 5 चीजें थी जो पहले भी मैंने बताया था, जिसमें दालचीनी, सिनेमन, जिंजर, ब्लैक पेपर, होली बैसिल and the resin are the main 5 ingredients of the herbal tea. And then general measures where we use warm water, where the activity of the virus is weakened. So we have to understand the prakriti, nature of the virus, how it replicates, and accordingly we plan the management according to the principle of Ayurveda. And in the spices, haldi having this all these activities is also plays important role, so that we started using gargling of the turmeric, saline, warm water that already I have mentioned. And जो unexposed asymptomatic group है as a preventive, so we used all those parameters to prevent them. Those we really call them as apparently healthy in the incubation period. So there, what more focus is building their immune system so that it gives the response, correct response to the correct trigger. Like वायरस आ गया तो वो चूहे जैसा है, तो उसको उतना ही रिस्पॉन्स दे, इम्यून सिस्टम को ट्रिगर करे कि वो वायरस की एक्टिविटी को अंदर रोक देगा. So this is what we did with our immunomodulatory measures. So these are all general measures. Then the specific measure like cough, cold है तो क्लोव से आप हनी डाल के ले लीजिए या स्टीम ले लीजिए. जनरल मेजर में पुदीना, अजवाइन से, हल्दी वाला ये तो मैंने ऑलरेडी. नेजल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इट क्रिएट्स अ फिल्म, and that really creates the barrier between the virus and the nasal epithelium, and that is like a double mask we have to really use, and we have used it for many people. Like Delhi's 150,000 police personnel, frontline warrior, we gave them this preventive kit, and that really has helped down to come down their mortality rate and daily infection rate significantly as compared to the various metro cities police personnel. And we did it with the scientific rigor where the Public Health Foundation of India had also been roped in. And we are doing this with the prophylactic clinical trials with our national and international collaborators having the scientific rigor. And we are also trying to understand what is the effect of our preventive measures on the genome of the virus also, molecular mechanism of each and everything. And now when they are exposed, a prophylaxis group, we also give them the Chitrakadi Vati, ginger officinal to prevent further replication. Like we have in Ayurveda, it is Sanjay, Prakop and Prasar. So Chaye Eva Jaye Doshan, that means that virus should not move further, and that chain of the transmission and chain of the replication should be controlled and broke down, and all those spices do the wonder. As per the Ayurvedic understanding, we understand this as a Sannipata Jvara, Shwas and Kas, and we did the management accordingly. So Ayurveda says that to understand any disease management, Rogam adau parikshet tato anantaram aushadam. That means examine the disease first and accordingly you plan the management. Tato anantaram aushadam. औषध उसके बाद में है. And we did the same thing, and understanding the virus, the decoction of combinations of Ayurvedic herb, guduchi, then haldi, tulsi, mulethi, st maduglyceriza, Adusa, Adhatoda vasica, because it is in the respiratory system. Then Calamig, Andrographis paniculata, Chiraita, Swarshia chiraita, Triphalatra. The principle is here that the virus likes all sweet things, like kapha prakruti wale hain. What we do, the use opposite. So all bitters and the pungent, all spices and all bitter herbs having bitter taste are really the key principle of using the management. That's why, because those are all broad spectrum antivirals and protease inhibitors according to Ayurveda. So we have the polyherbal formulation like Sudarshan Ghanavati, which is really used when there is a seasonal transition. We have that tradition in many states to use Sudarshan Ghanavati when there is seasonal transition, and then when we call it as a flu season and more viral like vector-borne disease and viral infections, our chances are more, so we use it and then strengthen and rejuvenate the immune system. In mild COVID symptom, upper respiratory tract infection, which dosha is vitiated, accordingly, we have planned many herbs and herbal formulations, nothing new. We are using it with our traditional time-tested empirical evidences, and really we used in our COVID health center where we have treated 400 patients of the mild to moderate COVID with Kojivadi Kashai, Nagaradi Kashai, Kantakari Avleha, Sitopaladi Churan, Talisadi Churan. We have understood the symptom management according to this is we understood labeled it as a Kasa Shvasa and tried the management of the ethnic and classical management of Kasa Shvas where Kantakari Avleha, Sitopaladi and all these are really used very effectively and gives the result, and the same is giving us the result within 5 to 6 days. So mean recovery time has been reduced from 10 days to 6 to 5 days. That is the achievement of the Ayurvedic management. And in mild to moderate condition the uh, where the uh, SpO2, that is oxygen saturation, falls below 90, we immediately refer to higher center. That is a red for us, and we don't treat those. We have treated moderate symptoms where there is a respiratory distress, fever, cough fever is there, but oxygen saturation is above 94. Those cases we have used with herbo metallic preparations like Mahalakshmi Vilas, Mrityunjay Ras, and those are safe, time tested, and of a genuine GMP certified companies. And this is the spreadsheet we have prepared internally, and that has been added to the national protocol from pre-infection to asymptomatic to mild symptoms to moderate and severe. There is no intervention we have planned. But again, cure, rehabilitation with Aula, Giloy and Gokshur, that is Rasayan Churnavati, we have really used. We have a post-COVID management unit, COVID care center, and also OPD and IPD, and we have flu OPDs, and we have all OPD, IPD, and all healthcare workers also are taking this prophylactic management. And those 3 to 4% healthcare workers who got infected at All India Institute, they have taken Ayurveda, and 99% of them, they have been completely cured. I mean to say completely cured by holistic Ayurveda management. And some of the rejuvenating herbs like pipali, giloy, and giloy is a Tinospora cordifolia you add with Piper longum, that really gives the wonderful result. Avla, Chavanprash, Amalak Rasayan, this is Asparagus racemosus, this is Vitania, Ashwagandha, and all of them, turmeric, are really giving us the good result. I don't say that only one single herb is really useful because it is the holistic management. And in COVID, and even in Ayurveda, it says that it is the treatment is mind, body, soul. It is not only physical wellness. It is the, if we have to really give happiness, then you have to add yoga and meditation component, spiritual component into that. Daily prayer, daily yoga, that is what is our holistic protocol is. And we have developed the yoga protocol for the COVID management in our COVID health center and in our institute also, and which includes relaxing pranayama, meditation, and all those postures. And if you can see, we have also developed the specific diet guidelines, pathya and apathya, therapeutic management through diet, how it should be. It should be light, unctuous, fresh, very important, and supacha, easy to digest. So everyone, according to their digestive fire, Agni, have to really take all, and you should really try to avoid junk food, outside food, because you don't know who has touched it, how it has been washed. Cleaning, washing is very important. So this sanitation and hygiene in the diet is very, very important. And that's why you really have to rely on homely prepared food. Someone told me why you are protected. So I told them that I eat होम फूड, घर का खाना खाती हूँ, और सुपाच्य ताजा और 6 रसों वाला खाती हूँ, टाइमली खाती हूँ. आई थिंक दैट इज द की ऑफ prophylaxis and prevention. And we have also developed the lifestyle modification, dinacharya, that is waking up early. I think in the winter it is very challenging, but whatever, whenever you eat, try to wake up as early as possible, not before after sunrise, during or before sunrise, and take warm water defecation like ब्राह्मे मुहूर्ते उत्तिष्ठम जीर्णा जीर्णम निरूपण. एंड उसके बाद अभी अभ्यंग करना, गार्गलिंग करना, व्यायाम, एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ जिमिंग प्रैक्टिस, वॉकिंग or yogasan is really very, very important, 30 minutes, because that improves your circulation, strengthens your immune system, and creates the happy hormone. So it's very important for mental, physical, and spiritual wellness. And to conclude, epidemic has been described in large, even in classical text of Ayurveda, and it has got really developed the wisdom framework. And even WHO also has included traditional medicine in their protocol, and India really is a leader to lead the world in preventive medicine. And I think we all should join together to create an evidence which entire scientific world understands, to understand the molecular mechanism of some age-old practices, therapies, and products, and the herbs, to understand how it is really useful to really help 125 crore deshwasi across India and also across the globe. So this is what ministry really did a wonderful work. All India Institute of Ayurveda, where the Ayurveda, we did COVID health center, prophylaxis study, post-COVID study, testing center, and helped many thousands and millions of people. And what really we helped is our experience was helped, submitted to ministry, and then it really became the part of the policy making. And this is how the drug development, the symptoms, possible concept, possible drugs, in silico study, and probable candidate. I think this is how we really should move. All these drug development students in the pharmacy, IT, biotechnology, I think you may take the lead from our experiences, and then you just plan in silico studies and mechanistic studies so that you will come out. And we have to join hand in the research with the basic science and applied sciences so that we together can do wonders than anyone else can. So this is all about All India Institute, which was dedicated to nation by our Honorable Prime Minister. And all these activities we did, media outreach, awareness, because it is a public participation in diet, lifestyle, very important. Ayurveda, लाइक हमने क्या सीखा कोविड में, आयुर्वेद क्या कहता है, ये स्वास्थ्य, हेल्थ is not the thing which we can buy from the pharmacy, because health, individual health is individual responsibility. The one who really takes care of its diet, lifestyle, and all regimen and thought processing is the one who protects himself or herself from all these unprecedented critical time. And that's what is the and this public awareness is the key of the prevention, and that we really did through many academic activities and all this care with compassion. These are some of our public health intervention of the 80,000 police personnel which we give. And these are some of, you can see the cheerful faces. This is none done but our patient who has been awarded for his quick recovery within 6 to 7 days, and he has been rated as a 5-star. And all our healthcare worker, and we have the welcome protocol, we have the discharge protocol, where we tell them that you are not anyone who can carry the stigma because you are COVID positive. And this is a modern Ayurveda hospital where all conventional outcome measures like X-ray, oxygen therapy, you can see the oxygen here, oxygen therapy, and immune parameters and inflammatory markers, you can see those we have. And it's that 5,000-year-old traditional science that was designed to bring the body back into the balance in order to heal itself from the elements. So this is the healing science, and I wish you all healthy and happy days ahead. Thank you. And I'm really sorry for all the interruptions, but I thought, I hope I have done the justice.
Sure, ma'am. It's a privilege to have you, ma'am. So students, if you have any question, if you want to discuss anything, you can.
Very late. Yeah. So maybe we can take few questions.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. No problem.
Hello, ma'am.
Be a little louder.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Can you try again?
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, can you tell me, ma'am, again, what the pith and cough, ma'am? So,
what?
What the pith and cough? So, ma'am, I want to know.
Oh, okay, very good. So basically, Ayurveda tells that we are the miniature creature of the entire universe. And universe, according to Ayurveda, is made up of 5 elements, 5-element therapy. So it is a fire, it is a earth, water, that is Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu and Akash. If I try to translate into understanding in English, it is a earth, water, fire, air, Vayu and ether, that is Akash, space. So when I say that human, and you can see the entire universal energies, and the universe is controlled by solar energy and the lunar energy, and in daytime is controlled by the solar energy, the night is a lunar energy. And the same way, when I say that the my body is also a miniature universe within myself, the universe outside is a universe inside within. So what are those five elements represent in my body? So earth and water outside, when you see the mountains, you see the rivers, so all this earth, that is a strong supporting force of this universe, and the cohesion, united union, water is a playing the media. So all those force, liquids and the solid force is represented in my body with kapha. That is, a cuff is for all anabolic processes, all support, strength, and the media, that is kapha. Flame, mucus, all everything is kapha. Union, cohesion, synthesis, anabolic processes like earth and water outside the universe, within the universe, outside my body. Now, the second is a fire, all kinetic energy, transformation, unit of transformation is solar energy. Even the plants, they produce their food photosynthesis only when the sun is up. So the same, my body has the unit of transformation, solar energy, all the kinetic energy, that is in terms of pitta, hot, solar energy, that represents by the pitta. And the last one, the entire movement, the clouds and the rain is only when there is a movement of the air. So that the force of the movement and the space, all the intra-human space in the body. Because if there is no space, अगर solid tumor हो गया और movement करने का space नहीं है, that is obstruction. So that is आकाश. And जो third force है, वात, that is made up, that represents air and ether. मतलब मूवमेंट भी है लेकिन उस मूवमेंट करने के लिए स्पेस चाहिए. हाईवे पे गाड़ी क्यों 200 पर आवर से भी स्पीड से जाती है? क्योंकि वो उनको क्लीन मिलता है. सो द सेम स्पेस इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द मूवमेंट, एंड दैट्स व्हाई ऑल द मूवमेंट is represented by Vata in the body. So all catabolic processes and any impulse, neurological, neuromuscular movement, any movement of the heart, movement of the limbs, movement of the system, from if whenever I take inside and goes excretion, all these movements are represented by the force, kinetic force called as Vata, catabolic force. So this is उत्पत्ति, स्थिति and लय, synthesis, transformation and deterioration. So it is a vata, pitta and kapha. So these are the three energies represent in the by the whatever is the element within myself. Another thing, there are some persons which represent, in which this kinetic force like pitta is more, those are called as pitta prakriti person. There are some vata persons and many some are there kapha persons. So जिनमें गर्मी ज्यादा है, that force ज्यादा है, तो कोई भी गर्म चीज वो खाए तो उनको गर्मी ज्यादा हो जाती है. So we really have to balance with such a food and such a drugs which will balance their internal energy with the outside energy. And the rasa taste represents the external forces.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. And there is in chat box, there is many people think Ayurveda is a pseudoscience. So how should we convince the scientific community that Ayurveda is based on true scientific facts? It's really very important because principal theory and practice of Ayurveda is based on 5 element and tridosh therapy, which unfortunately, scientific world, large sector of the scientists, they don't understand. And that's why when we say that the Ayurveda, we try to explain the Ayurvedic principles and practices in terms of the conventional scientific parameters like proton, electron, and all nutrients and all these language, then it is like comparing apple versus oranges. And they try to understand that this is a pseudoscience because like they don't understand this 5 element theory, because that principle itself of Ayurveda is different. But I always say that absence of evidence is not an evidence of absence, because now what is the time to all my young scientists that we really try to translate the principles of Ayurveda into the biophysics, biochemistry, the basic science language. So there is a need of translating the principles which world understands, and then only we can convince the scientific world.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I had a query.
Please go ahead.
Ma'am, I have been during the pandemic session, I have been working on different phytochemicals in silico analysis only, and I have published a few articles as well on COVID-19 itself.
Great.
But the thing is that, ma'am, when we do computational analysis, I don't know what is the next step to it. Like I have done molecular docking and dynamics, but I don't know how to translate that into in vitro or in vivo studies. So how do you propose that we can go around that?
Yeah, so whatever the leads you have got in the computational, you have to really search for the literature search. What are the leads really has that antiviral effect, and then taking those proteins, taking those leads, you can really, I have that paper, but you can really see the search, the same is mentioned in the classical literature like Andrographis paniculata, the andrographine, the phytoconstituent. If you do the same thing, then there is a synergy between your result and the wisdom. So Ayurvedic approach is a reverse pharmacology, and you are doing as a drug development, molecular docking. So with that lead, you can start, you can collaborate with any pharmacologist who can really, and pharmacists, where you can really, they will really help you in developing the in vitro study or cell line study.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Someone really asked, can you say what's the purpose of applying coconut oil and ghee in the nostril? It is not a specific oil. It is the lipid medium. Virus gets replicated when it gets that protein spike of the virus gets in contact with the receptor in the nasal epithelium cell, and those are rich in the receptor where virus protein can bind easily, and we have to break that, and the lipid layer creates a film inside so that virus cannot bind directly to the nasal epithelium cell. And this is the bridge, like we do the mask. So we are inhibiting entry of the virus inside the cell. The applying the oil media, lipid media exactly does the same action, where it protects, even though virus goes inside, it does not bind to the living cell. That's the purpose of applying any lipid media.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please go.
Ma'am,
Sorry, I just spoke some in English, in Hindi, but you could have asked me to speak in English. I would be more happy to speak in English. I'm sorry, some students, they did not understand, I think, the Hindi.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, we
Yes.
know that Phyllanthus niruri, which is one of the major agriculture weed, on the other hand, which is a medicinal plant in Ayurveda, how this plant can be used to make immunity booster drink or any other useful things during this COVID-19, so that our farmers can make use of that weed, so that they can improve their immunity.
Yes, a very good question. Actually, awareness is the key of the success because farmers lack the knowledge of the uses of Phyllanthus niruri. And for just let me clarify that Phyllanthus niruri is not available in India. It is a Phyllanthus amarus. That is another variety, another species within the Phyllanthus only, but it is the amarus which is abundantly available in India. But no doubt it is also useful and it is a hepatoprotective. It is mainly useful to for in the cough cold and in the inflammation to bring down the inflammatory markers and interleukin IL-1, 6, 7. So if you really get those papers and translate that knowledge system into easily understand where the farmers can understand the usefulness, effectiveness of this medicinal plant and the know-how. It is not the scientific aspects that farmers are not really interested. Farmers are interested into knowing the cash crop, how they really sustain their livelihood, because their livelihood is dependent on the cash crop and they are throwing this as a weed. So you can tell them that this weed is also medicinal. It has got the action and the know-how like passport data, that is Phyllanthus niruri. What is the useful part? Useful part is a whole plant. So how good agriculture collection and storage practices in a very simple language. And if you go to the National Medicinal Plant Board website, there are English and Hindi and the regional language versions available of all those 174 plants. So this Phyllanthus niruri, bhui avla, because it looks like the avla on the dorsum of the leaflets. So this can be used and it can be used as a shade dry powder. You add into warm water and take daily. Even in this pandemic situation also it is useful, not as an immunomodulator, but that will prevent many conditions like cough, cold and fever.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything?
So, ma'am, I have a question apart from this COVID-19. Can we use any oil like coconut oil or any sesame oil to avoid the dryness of the skin by using those oil on navel part or somewhere? I have
Yes.
heard. Is it true?
Yeah, it is true that we can like the main purpose is to create harmony between external environment and internal. When there is more dryness outside, the same dryness is increased inside. So to counterbalance, we really have to use some unctuous vidya. So application of the oil, अभ्यंग आयुर्वेद कहता है अभ्यंगम आचरेत नित्यम. सो अभ्यंग रोज करने से थोड़ा 5 मिनट भी एक्सटर्नल जो एक्सपोज पार्ट है उसको लगाने से एक्सेसिव ड्राइनेस कम हो जाता है. There is a subdermal absorption. So that also is really helpful and really that prevents from the external pollutants, external toxins to really have a direct effect on your exposed part. So it's really very useful to have application on your feet, on your even शिरो अभ्यंग. आपको बालों को अगर आप हफ्ते में 1-2 बार भी ऑयल लगाएंगे तो आपको डायरेक्ट जो सनरेज है उससे ब्रिटल हेयर रूट होके वो गिरते नहीं, क्योंकि जो ड्राइनेस है इज अ इनहेरेंट नेचर ऑफ वाट विच इज अ रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर ऑल डीजनरेशन एंड कैटाबॉलिज्म. तो उसको हमें प्रोटेक्ट करके रखना है, बचाए रखना है. एंड सो हाथ को, पाव को, नेवल रीजन सभी को जितना ज्यादा ओलिएशन आप कर सकते हो, better you do, better you are protected.
Right, ma'am. But I have heard that only 2-3 drops every night on navel part can prevent dryness of your skin. So it's like without applying anywhere on the surface, you can get a moisturized skin or skin area. So that's wonderful.
That is yet to be established, but navel region is the like nabhi. Any oleation starts from nabhi because it is the navel cord where we connect your maternal cell, matruj bhav, to your during infant. So really, it has that effect, but it is a 50% true that applying only to navel region, you do not have to apply anything. You apply to navel region, you start oleating applying navel region क्योंकि वो पित्त का स्थान है. So bio conversion really is very easy, fast, but it starts spreads very fast, but it is not the only solution where if you apply 2 drops and the entire body gets oleation. No, it would have better effect if you start there, but you have to apply to other also.
Yeah, ma'am. And the last question about the oil pulling. Can you explain few things? I mean, for half a minute.
Yes, that's also a very good question because I mentioned about the nasal application, but the oil pulling is also very important as like oil pulling is called it as a gandush and kaval in Ayurveda. So in the morning, what you have to do, you have to take a warm glass of water and add 1 teaspoonful of any oil. May it be ghee, coconut oil, or sesame oil, or mustard oil, or whatever oil you like. So that you have to add. You have to drink it, and the swill move in your mouth. Keep like this. Then it forms the film in your oral cavity also. So it is again a protection like to your nasal. Your oral cavity is also entirely protected, so the virus does not go directly inside. So this is the main purpose of the prevention, and that also strengthens your gum teeth. That's the additional benefit.
Is there any negative effect, ma'am?
Yes.
Is there any negative effect of this oil pulling?
Any additive?
Negative.
No, not at all. No negative effect. It is a part of your daily routine. Like जो दिनचर्या है उसमें ब्राह्मी मुहूर्त जल्दी उठने का किसी को निगेटिव इफेक्ट नहीं है, फिर व्यायाम करने का नहीं, तो उसके बाद दंत धावन टूथब्रश करने के बाद ऑयल पुलिंग कहाँ है? पहले लोग करते थे. अभी हमारा कोविड में पुराना जो धरोहर है वो दोबारा रिवाइव हुई, उसमें ऑयल पुलिंग आ गए. तो लेकिन लोग देखिए पहले जैन मुनि मास्क पहनते थे, they were using mask. So the same is oil pulling is our traditional wisdom of our healthy lifestyle. So there is no negative effect of this.
Okay, so we should take any suggested oil with the warm water, right, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
So students, I think we took a lot of time for Professor Madam. So it is my privilege and we are really honored to have you, ma'am. And every time you accept our invitation for such workshops, so we are really glad and we want your support in such future workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I am sorry for all the delay because of...
Absolutely fine, ma'am. Worth waiting for you, ma'am. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.